What's going on? Oh, it's the aftermath. King Arthur, or the Throne King, Lyndon Arthur versus Anthony Yarde, and Haney versus Diaz. Tune into Jay's channel. Firstly, let's get the easy work out of the way, man. So Arthur, what happened? You know, I mean, I was expecting a competitive fight, man. I mean, people can argue about the wave off, people can argue about, you know, the referee waved it off too early, but at the end of the day, man, you know, Arthur was backed in the corner and he wasn't throwing back, you know. I mean, when someone doesn't throw back, man, and they're getting up at around about 9-10, man, I understand the logic of the referee stopping it. You know, I know that some people like to get up at the last second for more recovery time and all that, you know. I understand that too. But for him not to throw any punches back, you know, I wasn't too phased about the decision. I was more in shock of the result, you know, that he was put out that early. You know, he didn't really do what he done in the first fight, you know, where he stayed away from the ropes. You know, Yarde managed to get him right to the ropes and finish him off right there and then, you know, and that was the fight basically. Went to the body, you know. Best way to, you know, counter the jab is going to the body, and that's what he did. He went to the body, and that was a wrap, man. That was the fight. That's all she wrote. Now let's talk Haney versus Diaz. Diaz, he was good at the end stages of the fight. You know, he was good at the when he did get Haney, when he did cut Haney off the ring and got him in the corner. Yeah, he was good then. But the first half of the fight, you know, he was basically target practice for Haney. Had the gloves up for most of the fight, you know. I think he was protecting the eye because his eye was red, you know, after the first 2 rounds. And, you know, Haney got him with a lot of easy points, easy rounds for Haney, you know, easy target practice. Diaz didn't really test Haney too much in the first half of the fight, you know. It was only the second half where he started landing bigger shots, you know, and Haney, big props to him for taking them. You know, there was a lot of massive shots in there that could have knocked Haney out, you know, but because Diaz isn't that sort of guy, you know, you've got to also consider that Diaz didn't move up in weight. You know, he ain't a knockout artist or anything like that, you know, but full props to Haney for taking the shots, you know. It shows that he's got a chin, a decent chin anyway. But yeah, man, the jab was too much for Diaz, and Haney played it safe at the end of the fight. You know, he didn't really try to knock him out too much or try to, you know, he was playing it safe. He was shortening up his punches. You know, he was using the jab a lot. When he was against the ropes, you know, he was throwing the short right and covering him up a lot, you know, holding him, cover up. He done what he needed to do to win the fight, you know. He didn't look the greatest, but, you know, he done enough to win. Unanimous decision, and power-wise, I mean, he did land a few big shots on Diaz, but it didn't really rock him. So, you know, his power is what people say it is, you know. It's not that great, you know. I did say in my first video that it's not too bad, but hey, it's not too great, you know. I'm going to say that. But he didn't done enough, man, and so we're probably going to see him challenge Cambosis for undisputed. He said that he would go to Australia for that fight. You know, he said that he'll go to Jupiter for undisputed. You know, the guy is a hungry young man, like I said before, hungry to get undisputed, hungry to keep fighting. You know, he wants to break records here. You know, that's what he's all about. But that's all, man. That's all we had. That's the recap of the weekend.